Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the designer, Shea, Norling back in the building, where our only goal in this 6 weeks is to not have a take worse than Vincent Goodwill. If we can accomplish that, we are dominating, buddy.
The bar's pretty low there.
Listen, participation trophy. I've been on four different shows over the last 5 days, and I've said that on just about every show because I'm still in disbelief that he said it. The Larry O'Brien trophy is a participation trophy. We're not going to get into NBA, but any championship trophy being called a participation trophy may be the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Everybody gets one now, apparently. Whatever. It was stupid. It was just so stupid. And it's Sylvie says it all the time. One is the new none. You win one. It's almost better off to win zero than to win one.
Ooh.
Because a lot of people, like Aaron Rodgers, if he had won none, he'd still be an underachiever. But only winning one is like this unacceptable underachiever status.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's weird. Yeah, you know what? Because when the guys that don't win anything, Phillip Rivers, right? I'm sitting there, I was like,
somebody had to lose to Tom Brady.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I remember seeing that and being like, everybody was like, Phillip Rivers, clear-cut Hall of Famer. And I was like, he's a Hall of Famer. I'd give it a couple of ballots.
Hall of very good.
But we know, right? More than likely, he's gonna get in.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think so? You think Phil doesn't get in?
No.
Either way, though, right?
Never an All-Pro, never an MVP,
and
never a champion.
That was always my argument with it. And everybody always goes, "You can't tell the story of football without him."
Yes,
I
you
can
can
get through it.
You can.
I can find my way through it, but all of the reasons why everyone looks at Phil and they give him the excuses for versus Aaron Rodgers, who everybody's like, he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. But he didn't get it done. F that guy. And I'm like, he kind of did.
Yeah, but
he legitimately got it done.
Vincent Goodwill took that same thing where it's like, oh, if you can't win two, then the first one doesn't really count. And I'm like, are you dumb? What do you mean?
We praised the Pistons. The not the bad boy Pistons, the 2005 Pistons? 04 Pistons, where they won with probably the least star-studded staff that you've ever seen. But nobody sits there and goes, "Oh, you only got one." We all go, "Well, kind of impressed that they got it." Shout out to that.
That team was a miserable watch. Miserable. Oh, let's just play tackle football on hardwood and win games 70-68. Miserable.
Were you cheering that championship, though?
Miserable. Miserable basketball.
Hey, let's talk a little bit of Bears football here, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. I want to talk about people coming into this season, and dare I say this training camp, because I think it starts pretty early here with the Bears, with the most pressure. And I think that there's a couple of names that immediately stand out into my mind, but I want to get your take on this and your take as well down in the comments. Who do you think has the most pressure on them going into this upcoming season? Shea, I want to start it with a name that I saw you. I don't know if you rewatched that pod. You were giddy when I brought up the Luther Burden question. I'll drop the name on the flip side of that question. I think Rome Odunze.
We're in lockstep. It's the name I was going to go to.
Is the highest pressured player on this team, not because he can't accomplish a ton. We clearly can see that he has talent and he can go out there and do it. But it is that year of, all right, you're going to show me why we took you, or was that just a half a season of good times?
So the way I always look at pressure is I think it'd be easy to say Austin Booker because he's occupying a bigger role,
sure,
it seems. But I don't. That's just, you're getting a bigger role, do your thing. The way I look at pressure is, am I going to give you a second contract? And that's why I looked at Rome, because I think this is the critical year for him where, if the way I feel is Luther Burden and Colston Loveland are the top two pass-catching weapons on this team, right, if it plays out that way, then you're not paying Rome Odunze. Because there's other things that have to be done here. You have to pay Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
And he's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid. And he's all pro level. You got to address defensive line.
You got to pay Caleb.
In a massive way. Yeah.
You got to reinvest up front when you get Dio and Grady Jarrett off the books. You got to reinvest on the O-line. And if it looks like Luther and Loveland are the future here, well, then you got to save money somewhere, and Rome would be the casualty. Not that he won't get paid someplace else or having a
100%.
good, solid career. It's none of that. But it's like, if you want to be the guy on the team that drafted you and have the second contract, sign the extension, the big money payday, now's the time. You got to start cooking.
And I think that's the real conversation. Like, you look at it that way. I don't think it's too different than how I look at it, but mine is just a little more clear cut. If I'm willing to give your job to someone else, that's pressure.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of, by the way, it's not because of lack of talent. It truly is what you brought up, right? There's money that comes into play when you're winning. Listen, the Chiefs didn't want to, but they moved on from Tyreek Hill because they were like, we got other people we need to pay that are a little bit more important than our number one wide receiver right now, because we have this elite tight end over here that somehow keeps catching touchdowns and catching the football. And he had one of his best seasons.
And they had to pay their quarterback for it.
You got to pay the guy that's getting you the ball. I think that for me with Rome, the pressure is more around it's twofold for me. Number one, of course, is he your number one wide receiver? That's the biggest question that's going into this training camp. But two, is how you affect the game more important than the other receivers, and there's a plethora of them on this team that the ball is going to be going to. For me, when I see Rome Odunze, I don't see Rome as the guy that's getting 15 targets a game and you're just forcing the ball to him and you're trying to make, and unless he turns himself into that guy. I see him as the deep threat guy. I see him as a monster over the middle. I see him as a guy that on the when going out of bounds, right, he can make those tough toe touch catches. Is that going to be more important than the fact that more than likely this season we're going to see Caleb Williams be able to throw it to Luther Burden 4 yards past the line of scrimmage and Luther be able to turn that into a 10-yard run? That's where now you're getting into a conversation of how much is Ben Johnson going to utilize you and how much are you going to take advantage of the opportunities you get. Because looking at the numbers here from last year, Shea, I hate to say it, I don't think it's going to be very different this upcoming season. When you look at the receiving numbers, Colston Loveland, 713 yards, Luther Burden, 652, Rome Odunze, 651. We know the injury played into that. Cole Kmet, 347, OZ, 313. You swap out OZ with Khalif Raymond, I'd say you're probably still running similarly around there. Who's going to take the most advantage of limited opportunities that you're going to get on this team? Because you're not going to get 15 targets a game.
Well, remember, Luther and Loveland had slow starts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 5 weeks into the season, and we were asking, why'd you draft these guys?
Yeah.
And then the explosion happened. I'd expect both of their numbers to tick up. I think both of them have a chance to be 1,000-yard receivers. But like you were saying, 15-target guy, I don't know that exists in a Ben Johnson offense.
No.
That they're like, I don't think you're feeding Rome Odunze the football 15 times ever, even if he does prove he's the number one, which is why I think there's more pressure, because you have to prove how valuable you are in the reps that are given to you, the targets you do get, which might be no more than 8 or 9 a game. You got to prove you're a willing blocker.
Yeah.
You got to prove you can do all the extra stuff that you have to do on the plays where you aren't targeted. And frankly, this is just, you got to prove you can catch the football.
That's the bottom line.
Right now I'm looking at a guy, half his targets are drops.
Yeah, that is the bottom line. Because to me, with Rome, I think you see all the other stuff. Rome's willing to go out there and block. We've seen Rome block halfway down the field to try and make a play work, right? Rome's willing to do the dirty work. He's willing to do whatever's asked of him. He truly is a consummate pro. The question comes down to production. And the bottom line is, and even he has said this, right? As good as the start of the season was, that's how bad the end of the season was for him. You caught one of the biggest catches of the season, but are we in that situation if you catch X, Y, and Z before that comes up? Because it's not the first time you were targeted in some of those games.
Well, and those toe-tap catches on the sideline. Look, I never liked the throw, really, and it's always the same. You've got Rome streaking across the field, 15 yards deep. Caleb's flushed out to his right or to his left, and you just throw a dart down the sideline. There were a lot of those that landed in the breadbasket for Rome that didn't end up completed.
Yeah.
That's what needs to change for me, is like, I'm not sitting here saying I want to feel like I'm a guy, you're a guy, I'm comfortable giving 15 to 20 targets. I just want to feel like you're going to catch the ball when it's thrown to you.
Yeah.
More confidently than I think most Bears fans feel right now, because that's just the reality. The numbers are He drops half the balls that are thrown to him.
Yeah, catch percentage last year, I believe, was legitimately, and I can look
It's like 48%, 49%.
It got ugly at the end there. For some reason, that decided to change right quick. Let's see. Rome Odunze last year was at, well, he wasn't a running back, a 45% catch percentage last year. It's not good enough. And the reality is we all see the talent. We know the level of player you are. I do believe that the foot played a big part in this. And here's the one thing, coming away from OTAs and minicamp when we got to talk to Rome that I think is going to be big is the mindset of Rome, I think, is in the right place. And so maybe he's prepared for that pressure. What I mean by that is he talked about his foot injury, and I think the question was, do you feel back to normal? And he said, I'm comfortable with my new normal. And sometimes that's the hardest part for players to get to. I do think the foot played a big part in it. Rome was one of the best wide receivers in football last year. How are you going to adjust to what is now your new normal? That's really what we're going to see this year, because if you can be comfortable with where you're at with your foot and know how to manage that pain and be able to go out there and give us the first half of the season production, none of this is even a conversation. To me, this is Rome's job to lose, not Luther's to win. I think if Rome shows you who he is, they're going to go to Rome Odunze. Body, size, all of that plays into it. Also, and I think a relationship is definitely there with him and Caleb.
And to be clear, too, nobody's rooting against Rome or saying there's only room for one guy.
No, I want T. Higgins, Jamar Chase.
Right. I would prefer both on the team and good, but Rome has to prove it, because even contextualizing the number, 45% catch rate, Luther Burden was at 78%.
Yeah.
And you start looking at some of the other numbers from week 6 on when Luther really got involved. He was top 5 in football yards per route run. I know it's a geek stat, but everything suggested Luther Burden is the best receiver in the offense.
Yeah.
I think he fits what Ben Johnson wants to do. And I root for Rome. I liked Rome at Washington. I like him now, but it's his job to go out and prove that he is deserving of having that level of role on this team. And even if he is the T. Higgins to Jamar Chase, that doesn't matter to me. I don't care when you say it's Rome's job to lose, not Luther's job to win. I don't care who the wide receiver one is.
Yeah.
I would love it if we have 2 wide receiver ones.
Well, I mean, look, what I said about it was I think wide receiver 1's wide receiver 2 no matter what, because I think Colston Loveland is wide receiver 1 realistically moving forward.
It's fair.
I look at the tight end quarterback combo as the one that we have seen be the most successful throughout football history. Go back as far as you want to go. That's where championship dynasties have been built off of. And so, to me, I think that's what Ben Johnson wants to lean into. I think he wanted to do that with Laporta more. You saw that kind of not play out. Laporta ended up getting banged up and stuff like that, but you saw that not playing out as much once he was gone. I think that that's the relationship that you saw be the strongest in Detroit for a long time. And then Amon-Ra came onto that scene and took over, right? To me, you get to catch defenses off guard more if your tight end is the biggest weapon on the field. And now all of a sudden I get to use who I think can be an elite wide receiver in Rome Odunze and who I think can be an elite wide receiver in Luther Burden. I think both of them are fighting for the I don't want to say the scraps, because I don't think Colston Loveland's getting 15 balls a game either. But
nobody is.
I think if you're talking about who Caleb's going to be comfortable with on a consistent basis, we're going to call Colston Loveland's name a lot, especially this upcoming season.
And we'll see what Xavier Thomas looks like as he gets worked into this, because there's been a lot of praise out of minicamp, and everybody at Hallis seems to love him. Which is also I don't know, pressure might not be the right word, because I also think there's a world. And again, this is just me, my opinion. I'm not saying this is a fact, but I always get a little hesitant where if you have Rome and Luther and they're both great, which is, I think, best case scenario for 2026. Yep. But I always get a little nervous because I don't want to end up like Cincinnati, where you spend all your money on quarterback, wide receiver, and then we're going to look at the defensive line in 2-3 years and go, how did this not ever get better?
Yeah. I'll say this, though. To me, I think we're talking about this pressure around the wide receivers, and you could throw all 3 names in there if you want to, because of Is it wild to say that in the Bears version of Ben Johnson's offense, that feels like the spot that's going to be replaced a ton?
Yeah, that's the best teams do that.
I would think that in 4 years we're talking about the same conversation for Luther. Maybe not even 4 years. In 2 to 3 years, we're talking about the same conversation around Luther Burden, because there's going to be some wide receiver that Ben Johnson drafts that we're going to be like, he's going to come in. He's going to have expectation. It's not just a throwaway pick. A lot of us looked at Xavier Thomas and we were like, hey, he looks like a fine player, but do we need another wide receiver? If you want to save money, you keep bringing them in and you keep swapping them around, especially when you have that comfort guy that you can go to.
And the best organizations do that too. I mean, you mentioned the Chiefs moved on from Tyreek Hill. How many times when the Patriots were humming in their dynasty did we see them flip out skill pieces so that they could afford to spend elsewhere?
Yeah.
The Eagles have been a revolving door at wide receiver. The best organizations know when to let these guys go and know where to invest otherwise. So it's always, it could be that like we're just going to have a revolving door sort of. Now, I think Luther is going to stay here for a while. I really like Luther Burden. But it'll be interesting to see which of the two or if both get paid, if this is a Jamar Chase T. Higgins situation. Can I throw another name out as the Bear with the most pressure? And it's sort of an outside the box one.
Let's do it.
Can I offer you Dennis Allen?
I thought you were going to say Neville Gallimore. Dennis Allen.
I mean,
why?
Well, one, you had Ben Johnson talking about the results of the defense and saying we need to coach them up better.
Yes.
Which pins all of it on Dennis Allen. Whether that's fair or not, in my mind, when I hear the head coach say we have to coach the defensive line better, that pins the responsibility, the accountability of it on Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
So I live in a world where if this defense isn't good again, that's on Dennis Allen. And it's on Ryan Poles too.
Yeah.
It's on the philosophy and the decisions that they've made up front. But clearly, Pat, they believe the guys that they have in the room are the guys that they can win with and be productive with on the defensive side of the football. I don't know if that's true, but the way that Ben Johnson has talked about it, the way that Dennis Allen has talked about it, and saying, we were too focused on scheme, and not fundamentals last year, we lost some of that. To me, it's Dennis Allen's job to get this defense to be the best it can possibly be, and if that's the 15th best defense in football, I think that's a win.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you are 25th to 30th again, then we got problems here. And where else can I point my fingers?
My thing would be, I would question, and I think we did this some last season, but we gave DA a lot of a break. I
gave him a full pass.
I gave him a lot of it. He's coaching Matt Eberflus's defense. He was.
I gave him a full pass. But now it's year 2, and now you've made the decision on who's going to be in your room in that unit.
And the philosophy, to me, I question where – I mean, they came out and said it. They literally said, we have enough DBs that can cover well that it allows us more time to get pressure on the quarterback. That's reverse football.
Yeah.
That's not – I have never heard a team come out and say, we can cover you so well, eventually we'll get a sack.
And I've said it repeatedly. Like, I know he had Eberflus's defense, especially at linebacker with Tremaine Edmonds.
and TJ and them,
But Dio Dengbo was a Dennis Allen guy. Grady Jarrett's a Dennis Allen guy.
Yeah.
Those two signing, now Grady Jarrett to a lesser extent than Dio, and I know there were injury concerns, but we got to be real about it. Dio wasn't rushing passers when he was healthy. That was a Dennis Allen guy.
Yeah.
So now it's year 2 with kind of the same defense, and you went out and chose Neville Gallimore. I can't imagine he did it because he's not a Dennis Allen guy. So it's like this is the philosophy of the defense, and now I can point fingers at players, but that feels a little unfair.
Yeah.
I can point fingers at the general manager because he built this, but we've seen it in the past. As you said, he got Tremaine Edmonds because Eberflus asked for Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah.
So
he said that was the key to my defense.
If this defense doesn't work again, then my choice will be Dennis Allen is the guy responsible for it. And I think that's where you're in a little bit of a pressure cooker because we know the offense is going to be good. We know we have a quarterback. We know that this team is capable of winning a division and making a deep playoff run. And if the defense holds you back, Dennis Allen's the guy I'm looking at.
There's a real conversation, especially because, like, you look at the offseason. The offseason was DB heavy. I mean, you go out and you get Kobe Bryant, you draft Dylan Thieneman. Now, realistically, and I know, right, in season, people will say something different. When Dylan Thieneman was on the board, I don't think there was a person in Chicago not screaming, please draft him. Like, he was supposed to be slated as a top 15 pick, and he ended up at, where'd we get him, 26 or whatever it was. You had to make that move, but then the expectation was, okay, well, we're going to go heavy D-line here in the second round if you can find a guy. You didn't do that. Well, we're going to go heavy D-line. Okay, there's some developmental pieces here in the third. You didn't do that. Okay, in the fourth round, there's guys that still play defense. You didn't do that, right? So now I do look at – and look, that says a lot about who your head coach is. Your head coach has the final decision. Ben Johnson's going to lean offense. We know that if Dennis Allen goes, hey, I love this defensive lineman that plays interior, he's going to need a little bit of work. And Ben Johnson goes, well, I love this wide receiver who's going to need a little less work. Ben Johnson's going to select the wide receiver. They're going to give Ben Johnson the team that he wants. But I do think that there was a philosophy going into this that was, as Ryan Poles said, we feel that we have enough DBs that can cover, that give us an opportunity to get to the quarterback. That's backwards football. I have never heard a defense preached in the manner that the Bears have preached this defense. If it works, we'll all shut up. If you find a way to get it to work, and we have seen defenses that have not the guy, but have a bunch of guys be fine with the defensive line, right?
Seattle's a good example.
Great example.
Just waves that come at you, but they don't have like a Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But they have 5 guys you would find on the middle shelf. I'm not sure the Bears really have a middle shelf guy up front.
I think they only have middle shelf guys.
So it's
like I would look at Montez as he's 10 sacks. You can't take him away from him. But the pressure rates would tell me you're middle of the pack,
right,
as far as pass rushers in the NFL right now. I kind of feel the same way if you give Austin Booker just as much run. I need to see more pressure than I see sack numbers. Interior, Javon Dexter's nothing but a rotational piece at this point. Grady Jarrett at his best maybe is a little bit above that.
Yeah. And look, it doesn't have to be wrong. Dennis Allen can coach up a defense. We've seen it countless times, but he doesn't have a Cam Jordan here.
No. Who decided to go back and stick around in New Orleans for that final year.
So I feel like I've watched enough football. You can manufacture a good defense with a defensive line that's built this way. It's just, it seems like it's always going to be more difficult.
Yeah.
And so for me, they chose this, and now pressure's on Dennis Allen to do that.
That's definitely an interesting one. I would not say that you're wrong. I think that if at this point where the Bears are, it's so weird to say about a Bears football team, the defense is probably the thing that's going to hold them back, it feels like. But I'll say this. You talk about pressure. You talk about, how good is it truly going to be in proving that. Are we taking all the pressure off of Caleb Williams? Because to me, I do think he's the quarterback of the future. I think we've got our quarterback. I think we've got our answer. I haven't seen him do it in the first quarter yet. The best quarterbacks come out in the first quarter and they punch you in the mouth and they don't stop punching until it's time to take the foot off of the gas. Now, new system, a lot that went into place last year. I think we can say a lot about that for the defense as well. I fully believe in Caleb Williams. But I think there's a lot of pressure that's still heaped on him to prove, it's not just the flash moments. The flash moments are great. But I can be a consistent quarterback through 4 quarters, and I can kill you the same way that I was in college.
There's always pressure on the quarterback. Always. But, just in this division alone, and I guess pressure is a weird way to define it. How much media scrutiny will you face as if a player cares. But
it is tough because it's like the other one's Green Bay.
Speaking
not
from
as big of a media.
But speaking from the perspective of media scrutiny, I think in this division, he is under the least pressure of all the quarterbacks.
Really?
I mean, Kyler Murray is playing for his career. He is playing to stay alive.
Pressure, dog.
Jordan Love has been nothing but the 7 seed.
Yeah.
And has not made a playoff run. And it's starting to feel like it's crunch time, dude. They paid you to be good, not in September and October and on the analytics sheet and have the cute EPA per play stuff.
Yeah.
They paid you to win playoff games. It's time.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, he got paid big dollars to be the guy in Detroit. He was on the doorstep of getting to a Super Bowl. They gagged it. And then had a horrific no-show, multiple interceptions against Washington in the playoffs, and then missed the playoffs. So the three other quarterbacks in this division I look at, and I'm like, the pressure for them is way higher than it is for Caleb. Not that Caleb isn't under pressure, and I think it's on, we all know what it is. You got to raise the completion percentage. You have to be more consistently good. It can't all be heroics. But I know he has the heroics, and I know he is the quarterback, and I trust his play caller as much as any in this division.
That I agree with.
So he's less of what I'm thinking of in, like, the way I'm thinking of pressure is, do I believe you're going to be here for the long haul?
I do believe that with Caleb.
And I believe that 100% with Caleb. At the end of this season, I'm sure he will receive an extension. Worst case, he's getting the fifth-year option picked up. Like, I don't think this is a C.J. Stroud situation. I don't know that I believe that with Rome. I don't know that I believe that with Dennis Allen at this point. Yeah. And the other, like, just how much do I believe you will be the reason that the Bears aren't winning games if they aren't winning games? And I don't feel that way about Caleb.
Right. I get that. I think that he's proven enough to us for us to be, dare I say, chesty, confident, cocky, if you want to. Like, I believe in Caleb so much, but I think the step for Caleb is one that's different than any of those other quarterbacks have. The pressure around him, I would say, is higher because there's a real opportunity for superstar. Say what you want about Jordan Love. Jordan Love's a fine quarterback. He is who he is, right? Jordan Love's never – I would never confuse Jordan Love with the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And at any point in his career, I get it, Toyota-thon, he looks amazing. You know what Toyota-thon reminds me of? When Ryan Tannehill would have his half a season where nobody was a better quarterback than him. No, I'm sorry, not Ryan Tannehill. Ryan
Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Fitzmagic.
When Fitzmagic would have those 8 games of the season where you just be like, I'm not going to lie to you, like, he's better than Brady right now. Like, he's dominating. And then all of a sudden you see the game play out, and it's everyone else's fault. It's LaFleur's fault. It's the receiver's fault. Although it do be the receiver's fault sometimes, but Christian Watson was a choice. It is.
Yeah, I mean, I still think about that Bears-Packers playoff game, and he dotted Jaden Reed for a touchdown. Yes. They would have won the game, and Jaden Reed dropped it.
But I think that's always the conversation around him. And at what point do we look at him and say, well, yeah, but what are the moments you miss, right? And I thought he played phenomenally in that game versus the Bears.
But it's just what I've been saying. Like, at some time, dude, it's put up or shut up. And I think this is the year for Jordan Love, where if you can't get a playoff run going this year, when is it going to happen?
Yeah.
And it's not like Josh Allen, who consistently gets to the doorstep of the Super Bowl and just, somebody has to lose to Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. It's like, dude, you haven't even made a run.
How far did they get it the year they lost to Washington, right?
They lost to San Francisco in the divisional, and it was Jordan Love throwing that wacky, horrible Brett
Favre throw?
Yeah.
Across the body? No, it's to me, I would say the pressure on Caleb is around I don't think he's expected to take a regular leap this season. I think people are expecting Caleb Williams to be one of the best quarterbacks in football. I think Chicago.
That's what it is for him. Is like you look at them today, and you wouldn't confuse Jordan Love for top 5 quarterback. No. I don't think anyone would say that about Caleb at this point either. No, maybe fans, but like he's not one of the 5 best quarterbacks.
Well, Cap. I think Cap did say
like
that.
I said, fans. He's not one of the 5 best quarterbacks. He's maybe one of the 10 best quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's an argument.
The pressure for Caleb would be at the end of the season, we're going to feel like he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But that to me is different. And he's still so early in this that I don't feel like you have to be.
Yeah.
All I need to have answered is, are you the guy that I'm comfortable paying $60 million a year?
Yeah.
And I have a hard time, like, if we expect any growth at all, and I know growth isn't linear and there'll be
There's going to be downs.
There's going to be ups. There's
He's going to have
downs.
a bad game this year. I guarantee it.
But I would expect that if Caleb grows in any way, we will get to the end of the season and go, yeah, 100%. I'm comfortable paying him $60 million a year. That's our guy.
Yeah. I could see that.
Where Jordan Love already has that money. You know what I mean? And it's like, did we screw this up?
I could have told you
that is a different kind of pressure.
That was a choice when you paid. I could have told you that when you paid.
I don't get paying Christian Watson. I think that's insane. I don't know what they're doing.
Listen, no.
God bless. I mean, do your thing. Nobody likes you, so go ahead. Pay bad players and lose.
It truly is when he's on the field, he's fine. Availability is your best ability. Like, when he's on the field, he's fine. I wouldn't say he's elite either when he's on the field, but he's fine. Like, he can be a really good wide receiver for you.
Yeah, I mean, is he healthy all the time?
He's not on the field.
Is he healthy all the time? No. You know, has he ever had a 700-yard season? Also, no. Here's $120 million.
You did what was the president that said that? Was that Ted that said that? He was like, have we won enough games? No. Have we figured out? I think it was Ted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Have we figured out the quarterback position? No. But we've got the pieces and we're going to get it together. He was right eventually. We figured out the quarterback position. Can I throw one more?
I saw a great article. This went on social media, and I stole it kind of from this guy who writes, I don't even know what the publication was. I'm sorry. I just read the article. I think it was a British paper maybe. But he was writing up the Fox broadcast for the World Cup.
Yeah.
And he goes, was Alexi Lalas a great soccer player? No. But is he a good analyst? Also no. But is he entertaining and charismatic? Also no.
It had to be a British paper because I'll be honest with you. He said some stuff on the World Cup coverage is on TikTok more than the World Cup is, or on Twitter more than the World Cup is, just like reacting to them. And I guess he's said a bunch of stuff that like is offensive in the UK and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, it's not offensive here. And so we can get away with this on American TV. I'm like, I'm kind of entertained by him.
We can swear on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I think the one I saw was when he said, what do you call that guy? A fucking wanker?
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa,
Yeah.
Alexi.
Yeah.
No, I don't like Alexi Lalas, but it's because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't do reading. Yeah. I got Thierry Henry on the set.
He doesn't do reading?
No, dude, I've got Thierry Henry on the set doing deep dives on Australian soccer players nobody's heard of, and he's doing it with like elegance. Yeah. And then Alexi Lalas is like, America, we're the future. And I'm like, what a waste of space. I've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thierry Henry, and they're doing – Zlatan's okay, but Thierry Henry's doing a wonderful job. And then Alexi Lalas is just like, America. And I'm like, what are you doing here, man?
I love Zlatan so much. I've told this story a couple of times. My favorite moment from him – and I do not watch soccer. I literally just like this guy. He came over to the MLS, and I think he played for L.A., and there was some kid that he was going up against that was like 25 years old. He was the best player in the league before Zlatan showed up. And he's like, he thinks he can come over here and just take over this league. This is my league and yada, yada. All things you don't say when it's actually your league. And Zlatan, he's like 40 years old. He's like, I'm 40 years old. Let me ask you, how old is this young man? He's like 25. He's like, at 25, I was the best player in the world. Where is he? And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Hold on, pimp.
Dude,
who is this guy? This is my favorite person in the world.
He is maybe my favorite soccer player of all time, and he's just, you don't fuck with Zlatan, man. He's so.
Oh, does he get after you on the pitch too? I know sometimes.
He used to back in the day.
Was he a everything I know about soccer is Ted Lasso. Was he a Roy Kent?
I've not watched Ted Lasso.
Dang it. Don't worry about it. So there's a character that is clearly based off of him in Ted Lasso called Zava, and it is the funniest thing in the world.
Dude, Zlatan's awesome.
He truly is like I gotta tap in and watch some of his stuff because
he went after Alexi Lalas on the set.
Well, did you see that?
I don't know. I can't remember what they were talking about, but Zlatan, Alexi Lalas said something, and Zlatan goes, ignorant people, arrogant people say that. And I'm like, Jesus.
Well, did you see where they were like, do you think I guess he went on one of the late night shows. They're like, do you think the show would be better with 4 Zlatans? And he's like, yes. He's like, he's linked up to a lie detector test. He's like, true.
Yeah. Or maybe he goes like, ignorant people call it arrogance. Zlatan call it confidence.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. We're just gonna hit Alexi Lawless with a hammer.
I love the chippy guy on the set, bro. It makes my day. It's why I love Chuck for so long. Let's finish it out with this. One last pressure guy. And this is a young guy. Maybe it's unfair of me to put the pressure on him. Is there a ton of pressure coming into this season on Logan Jones?
No. I'd actually argue there's no pressure on him. Do I want him to take the center job? Yes. Is there pressure in the sense that he's going to be 30 years old when he is a free agent? Yeah, sure.
And that is why
but no, Garrett Bradbury's there. Garrett Bradbury's got a little bit of a head start.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a particularly great center, but I think he's capable.
Yeah.
No, I would say that actually I would take pressure away because it's not like they're asking him to be the starter week 1. And if he is the starter week 1, it means he won the job.
Yeah. See, that's why, though, I do look at it as because if you're the Bears and you go with Logan Jones next year or at some point in this year, Caleb will have had 5 centers in his 3-year career, year 3 about to start. I think the conversation when you draft Logan Jones is, kid, get ready. We got to have you starting week 1. We've got this other guy that's going to be here. We trade a 5th round, but you got to be the guy real quick here.
I feel that way broadly speaking, but I think the way they're approaching it is like we want you to be the week 1 starter. We also understand this is an incredibly complex offense, and asking you to run it with like 3 months of experience might be a tall task. So we have Bradbury. We're going to give you the time to get sped up, caught up, figure this all out. And then when you're ready, you're the guy.
Which is what they did with Ozzie.
But it is, I think it's much more like we're going to be patient. We're not going to throw you in the fire. Take the time necessary to get caught up and ready. And then you're going to be the guy, which is, I don't think, a pressure-packed situation.
I feel like you got to treat center like how you treat pitching prospects,
which is
you don't want them to go out there and give up 9 sacks on the first game, trying to trial by fire him.
Right. Like, we're not 100% sure you understand the offense yet. We don't think you're totally ready, but we drafted you in the 3rd round, so you got to play. Yeah. No, they can take their time with it. And when he's ready, he's ready. And if he does start week 1, I will be excited because that means he won the job, that he did all the right things and he won the job. Yeah. So I don't think there's a ton of pressure on him.
Having two capable starting centers would be a dream come true.
My phone is blowing up. Did Giannis get traded? Did
something happen? Did we get a notification on something? No.
Sorry. Apologies, YouTube. I kept feeling it vibrate in my pocket over and over and over again. I'm like,
no, mine was doing the same thing. I've skipped a couple of things. Oh, apparently my children are going on a field trip to Eden Lanes for bowling. My daughter's not heavier than the bowling ball. How they taking? Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing.
They put it on that little slide, right? Don't they?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then you take the ball, you put it on the slide, and you push it.
Yeah, that's true. We've done that actually a ton with her.
You're a father, and apparently you've done this, and you're like, how is she going to go to a bowling alley?
I'm thinking,
I'm an idiot. I'm like, they got the slide.
Yeah, they do got the slide. This is true. Follow us on everything, man. Make sure you stay tapped in.
Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know what I did? I watched a lot of baseball. Shout out to my wife.
I watched soccer all day yesterday.
I can't, man. I'm trying. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm the only person at the station not watching the World Cup.
That's not true. Cap isn't either.
Okay, shout out to him.
Hoodie said he was going to watch more college baseball than World Cup. Yeah, so you're not alone here.
I want to experience.
I feel like I'm in the minority because I'm watching all.
So. I mean, Yurko's watching every game. Probably.
I'm never in the minority.
Carm's watching every game. I'll allow it. But Yurko's watching every game. Carm's watching every game. I would assume Jack probably is because it's a part of his job. You don't think so?
No way.
I feel like Jack's trying to be in the know with it now.
No way.
No?
I would be stunned. You would be able to knock me over with a feather if Jack is watching a bunch of the World Cup.
Well, I feel like because the show that he's producing is talking so much about it, he's got to know something.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to watch it.
Like
He's got to watch everything else.
That is true. That is true. I am watching none of it. So, like, when people bring up, like, did you see this? I didn't. Shout out to you. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. I felt this way last time. And then by the last game, everybody was like, man, that Mbappe kid, right? And I was like, who's that? They're like, you should go watch it.
You don't know who Kylian Mbappe is?
I do now. I am not soccer at all. I call it soccer. Like, I am not.
You know Leo Messi, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that took time, too. He's like, do I?
I know Messi. I know Ronaldo.
Lamine Yamal?
I know Pepe.
You know Lamine Yamal?
No. Not even a chance.
I had somebody on Twitter was like, I didn't know you were a ball knower, because Dave Portnoy was like, there can't be more than 11 people who knew what Cote d'Ivoire was before the World Cup. And I quote tweeted it, and I was like, respect Didier Drogba. And this guy goes, I didn't know you were a man of culture. I'm like, yeah, dude, I like soccer. I always have.
Yeah, I literally, because we talked at the other thing, I was like, or at Grip It and Sip It, I was like, I gotta get FIFA again, apparently. And learn it. It is, and apparently I'm not the only one, because I heard Carm say this on the way in. Offsides is what throws me. In hockey, offsides is so easy.
Yeah, it's blue line.
Yeah, blue line. Don't go in before the puck. In soccer, I every time I think I've got a grasp on offsides, they call offsides.
You can't be behind the defense. It's easy.
But there's so many where they call an offsides, and that, I don't know. My head hurts.
It's if you're behind the defense at the time the ball is advanced, you're offsides. But if you are like running with the back line of the defense,
right,
and the ball is passed, you are free to go if you're faster. But you can't cherry pick. You can't be behind the defense when the ball moves forward.
So put it in other terms. So in basketball, you can't cherry pick. You got to get back on defense.
Right.
And in like football, you just can't beat them over the top. Like you've got to be like inside them before the ball's kicked. Once it's kicked, then you can go. You just can't be the deepest man.
So everybody has to have basically even footing, and then
correct. Yeah.
If the ball is kicked ahead of you and you're faster, you can go.
The offsides line, all it is wherever the deepest defender on the field is, parallel line, that's offsides.
See, that's what threw me, because it moves.
Yeah.
That threw me. I'm like, just draw a line on the field.
Wherever the
I'm very simple.
Is.
You give me lines, I know whether to cross them or not. I thought it had something to do with like being in the goal box.
I'm telling you, dude, the way I learned soccer in high school was FIFA.
I got to get into FIFA.
I had a buddy who played on the high school team, and we'd hang out and we'd play FIFA, and I learned soccer through that. And now I'm the guy at home that, like, I see the pass go, and I'm like, off, he's off. Because you just know, like, you start to see stuff.
Yeah, I gotta get into it. My dad, it's my dad's fault. He loves soccer. He wanted to get me into soccer, but he made me a Sox fan, Bulls fan, Hawks fan, and Bears fan. And I saw a lot of losing seasons in my lifetime. And so by the time he was trying to get me into soccer, I just looked at him and I was like, you can't pick another team for me. I'm not going to let you continue to hurt me.
You can just be like a Real Madrid fan, and then you'll only know joy.
Well, the thing is, he's a Man City fan.
Yeah,
and they're actually like really good.
Same difference.
But I'm scared the second I start cheering, that all of a sudden they're going to fall back off a cliff again.
Nope, because they got oil money. All you got to do is...
Oh, is that how you get into a team?
All you got to do is pick one of the teams that's owned by an oil tycoon, and you're good to go.
Oh, okay. I got to figure it out. We talked a lot of different football on today's podcast.
Football.
All football and football. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do for the great Shea Norling. It is your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there in Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
Hit the road in a brand new Toyota in less than 1 hour. At Advantage Toyota River Oaks, you can sign and drive away in 60 minutes or less. Seriously. Or they'll cover your first car payment. Every new Toyota is backed by the Advantage Plus program. Advantage Toyota River Oaks. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.